Hi guys, getting ready to go live here. Awesome. I'm here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, Brandaleen Johnson. So excited to talk to you guys about the language of light. I literally was channeling spirit and channeled 3 pages from spirit and what they wanted me to talk to you guys about for day one. Um, so before we get started, I want to share a general message with you guys from spirit. When I say spirit, I mean spirit guides, angels, past loved ones, and all of our ancestors, right? And then I'm going to share with you guys who I am, what you can expect in these next 3 days of challenge. And then I'm going to share today's challenge, which is really going to blow your mind. You guys are going to love it. I'm going to give you a little bit of an assignment, and then you can share your findings inside of our community, your spiritual awakening community on Facebook. That's where our little community is. But definitely, if you're watching on YouTube, share what you found in the comments or come join us in the community. So let me know when you guys are here joining me live. That will be awesome sauce. And I can engage with you a little bit here as well. But let's go ahead and get started. Right. So before I got really grounded, started bringing through spirit. And I love spirit because they give me a hard time when, like, I want to say something, but then spirit's like, no, Brandaleen, come down off your ego. This is really what we want to say, right? So they want to let you know how special you are and how amazing it is that you chose to incarnate during this amazing time, right? And to be conscious of this carnation right now in this place and time, right? So hi, Rachel, I see you coming on. Say hi when you guys are here. I see a couple people on YouTube. But they also say that you always incarnate, like all of your incarnations are always at this really neat, in this neat time where you always incarnate to do something to shift consciousness in one way or another. It's super cool when we start adding up all of our past lives, and there's like usually a common theme. Spirit says, those of you guys that feel called to this challenge, that they have been waiting for you and that they are here to support you in your coming online, right? When you're coming online. We're going to talk a lot about that this week. So those of you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Brandaleen Johnson. I am spiritual awakening science nerd, right? Hey, Rachel. Hey, Andrea. I'm glad you made it here on the live. I have so many titles, right? Psychic, medium, author, educator, business coach, all the things, right? But really, what it all came down to is my spiritual awakening and coming online and being able to channel through spirit and being able to translate the language of light. And that's what this challenge is about. What are we going to learn? You guys, today I'm going to talk to you guys about what is the language of light. And I'm going to explain to you how you're a scientific, how you're an electronic being, right? I love you, Shanda. I'm so glad you're here on the live too. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about your receptors, right? On more how you're receiving. And then the next day we're going to talk about your position in New Earth. Like, this challenge is for people that feel called to this. How many of you guys are feeling this? How many of you guys feel this calling that you're here for something bigger than yourself, right? That there's something more to this existence. There's something more to this reality, and you really want to put your finger on it. Those are the people I'm talking to this week, right? So I'm going to dive right in, which was the last page that ended up they wanted me to talk about this in the first part. So they want to talk to you guys about what is the language of light, right? What is the language of light? There's some people out there that speak light language, they call it, right? And they channel something wild and crazy, right? Andrea says she is one of those people that feels that calling, that feels like she's here for something more, that she can't put her finger on it, that she knows that shit just isn't true. What you see outside of yourself just isn't the truth, right? And you just feel really called inside of your being. So the frequency is the language of light. The language of light is frequency. I want you guys to think about Wi-Fi, right? I want you to think about how information is just freely all around. How are you receiving me right now? How are you receiving me right now? Right? Via Wi-Fi, via device, via an electronic device. So you're just receiving by a certain receptor, and we're going to talk about your receptors tomorrow. But you're receiving me, and I'm not in your living room, and you have no problem wrapping your head around that, right? But when I start saying that we could communicate without speaking, that I could be in your energy, and I could heal you, right, by using this frequency and by receiving frequency from spirit. That's the language of light. So it's a frequency that's received through your physical being, right? Through your electronic being. And then it's translated through you, which is the fun part that I love to teach people, because everybody has receptors in a different way, and it's translated in different ways through each individual person, right? But this language of light is translated through you. It brings through healing and transformation from the people around you. And here's the thing too, is a lot of people, when they flow through some of my programs and stuff, they think, well, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to apply this? And my nose is always running on these damn things. Am I supposed to apply this? And like, is this supposed to be my career? Not necessarily. It can be. But here's the neat thing. They want you to know too, this is something big they put on here, that this language of light is not just intuition. Language of light is so much bigger than that. What they're saying intuition is it's small little hits, small little crumbs that you're like, oh, intuition. Or if you're sitting alone and you're like, should I choose this? Should I choose that? That's your intuition, right? And it's great and it guides you, right? But the language of light is learning that true language to receive and translate it at will, right? At will. Like somebody could ask me a question, language of light, translated at will. And that's where the powerful transformation is going to come, right? They want you to know too, is when you come online and you learn this language, it changes you. It changes you so drastically that you could just be sitting in traffic and somebody could feel this energy. They don't know where it's coming from. But because you're this electronic being, you're emitting this frequency, and your frequency changes when you start working with M4 Spirit. And when you start understanding truly how to have a full-on conversation, right? You change so much. Some of you guys, I can't see your comment. Oh, there we go. Yeah, telepathic. Rachel says, I'm here for more, whether it be Reiki or any kind of energy work, right? This is the path, right? This is the path of the light. So being telepathic, psychic, strong, intuitive, this is the path. But learning that language of light is so amazing. And things like Reiki are great because it helps open that channel and shift you and be more in tune to it. But developing into it is just hands down. Any of you guys that's work with me to do that, share in the comments, right? It's just will blow your damn mind. Anyway, let's talk about how you're not a solid being, right? Let's talk about, and hi Brenda O'Reilly. Let's talk about how you're not a solid being. And I want you to imagine yourself right now, and you're going into the grocery store, right? And all of a sudden you feel everybody else's energy, or maybe you don't even know that that's what's happening to you. Maybe you leave the store and your mood has changed. Maybe you went in feeling great and you leave feeling depleted or depressed, or you just want to shake it off. Like you feel this heavy burden. It's because you're not a solid being and you went in and you commingled with other people's frequency. This happens all the time, but a lot of people, which we call empaths, or highly sensitive people, are more sensitive to those types of public places. Because why? Because you're merging in with everybody else's energy field. So keep in mind, when did that happen to you? How often does it happen to you? Have you picked up on other people's emotions? Most of you guys are going to say yes to that. But did you ever think to yourself, I'm picking up on these people's emotions simply because I'm an electronic being and I'm swimming in the cosmic soup, right? I love to call it cosmic soup. We're all in here together. And as you get nearer, right, because our energetic fields are 6 to 12 to 15 feet around and above us, right? So the more that, forgot where I was going with that, but that's why you're so sensitive when you're coming into a physical space. But the interesting part is you don't even need to go physically somewhere to energetically meld with someone, right? So cool. We're going to talk about this week too, about your awareness and moving it and what happens through time and space, right? Through time and space. Who says you have to feel this way at Walmart? Can you tap in and tell me what happened in 1954 on this corner of this street? Right? Can you tap in and tell me, what's going on Mars right now? Yeah, you can. And this is freaking awesome, right? Yeah, Rachel's saying she's sharing, she picks up on other people's thoughts. And I hear people having conversations in my head and it's not me. So this is that telepathy, right? So it's different. It might be clairaudience, Rachel. You might be, hearing and receiving that way. We're going to talk about receptors tomorrow. So what else we got here? So they're also talking about problems that come from not understanding or being able to manage your energy field, right? So some of you guys are highly sensitive, but you haven't developed into your language of light. You haven't fully integrated into that language. Therefore, some of the problems that you're going to be having is freaking anxiety, right? Mood swings, depression. Yay, Jeannie! Hey, Jennifer! She's caught me live. So she had to say hello. Yay. That's so awesome. I miss you. So anxiety, depression, feeling like bipolar, getting diagnosed bipolar, because and I get so riled up about this stuff too, because the medical community doesn't often talk about the root cause, right? They love to sell you medicine, right, to cover up a symptom. But Brandaleen here wants to talk about your frequency and your energy and how people that don't understand this language that I'm speaking right now just have their energy all over the damn place, right? They're connected to freaking everything and therefore they find no peace. They're constantly going worrying, right? They're not here in this present moment. Which they said something about that. Oh, there they go. I'm like, I knew that they said something about that. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about my ego, right? Because I have ego. We all have ego. I love working with and for spirit, and I have been for several years, right? Officially came online 2011, right? The end of 2011, right before 2012. But so my ego wants to tell you that you've been lied to for so long that you have no idea even who you are or what is true or what real reality is. You don't know because all you know is based on what somebody else told you, right? What somebody else told you. And then have you guys ever played telephone like in elementary school? Where that you come up with one word and then you whisper it in everybody's ear, and by the end of the time it comes back around and it wasn't even the word. Have you ever played that telephone? By the time it comes back around, it's so convoluted that you've lost the whole direction, right? Rachel says, I feel that. So how do you know who you really are? How do you know what you could possibly do? How do you know how you're really supposed to communicate? How do you know why you're here if you've been lied to for so long, right? And then spirit comes in and they're so sweet and nice. The spirit's like, all right, Brandaleen, share your ego because they're flowing through me. But we also want to say, spirit says, it doesn't matter how you got to where you are today. We are here in the now moment for those who feel the call to come online, to lead, to hold frequency on this planet. They also want to again tell you, you don't have to make this working with spirit your career, but just standing next to someone or just the words that will come out of your mouth are going to change other people, are going to it's going to shift the frequency. And every single time, right, we see that ripple effect when we drop the rock in the pond. It goes out, right? And then day 3, we're going to be talking about new earth and your place in this place, right? Like how many of you guys are done with this paradigm, right? How many of you guys are done thinking about the working till you die sort of scenario, right? How many of you guys are done falling for going into debt, right? And then getting sick. And then like, how many of you guys see the cycle? It's crazy. Here goes my crazy ego again, right? Of, being told who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, how long you're supposed to do it, when maybe you could save your joy for later, maybe retirement, right? I just had a meeting with my person. She's like, when I'm 60 fucking 8, I get Social Security. Like, what a scam. What a fucking scam, right? Language of the light is the way, is the door. is the door for that new paradigm. Those ones of you guys that sign up for this, those ones of you guys that feel so deeply about what I'm saying, you guys are the ones, right? And I'm so glad to be talking to you. And I'm so glad to be letting spirit flow through me. So that was the little gist about what is the language of light, right? How you can kind of understand you're an electronic being. We're going to do an actual experiment with that tomorrow. But today, I want you guys to journal, or, at least put some thought into, like, think about some of these random experiences that you had that you couldn't explain, right? That you just know that there was more to it. And you know that if you dive deeper and deeper, that you're going to find something. But what were these little pops that happen, right? How often do they happen? Some of you guys might not have any of this at all. So my audience is really always broad, because some of you guys reach out to me like, oh my gosh, this weird thing happened. And I'll be like, well, let's talk about it. Or, oh my gosh, I have this mental condition, right? Or I've been diagnosed this, right? This is day one. Yes. So tomorrow and the next day. And then Friday, we have a big, exciting thing going down. And have you wanted to learn more, right? For me, right? I was always into all this stuff, right? I became a Reiki master 25 years ago, right? I was always into spiritual stuff, but I never really came online until I moved to Michigan, went in the woods, and had a massive spiritual awakening experience in the woods. I talked to you guys about that a lot. It was actually fairies, which I thought were make-believe, right? That was my way. That was my coming online. There's something else for you there coming online, right? It usually is like that desire to, like, oh, this spiritual stuff, like, or you get in a conversation with someone and they're like, I saw some guy, a ghost standing in my condos at the sliding glass door, literally ran into a girl at the pool. She told me that. And so then we get in a conversation about that, right? How many of you guys are getting into those types of conversations and want to know more and want to kind of embrace this and immerse yourself into this type of life? I call it spirit-led life. Because once you do learn the true language of the light, your life changes and you start, I call it the hovercraft. Like, all the shit shows down here, you can see it, but you're not really affected by it. Things just completely change. So yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love it. I love all your guys' comments. So I want you to share in our group, Your Spiritual Awakening Community, on Facebook, or in the comments on this YouTube video. Some of these experiences that you've had, I want to know, right? I want to know. So I'm so excited to share this challenge with you guys this week, and then open doors for an amazing, amazing opportunity for you guys to work with me. So love y'all. Have a beautiful day, and I will be in your inbox with the replay as long as you signed up for this challenge. All right. Bye.